Welcome back. Today is March 18th, 2026. We are literally um, hours away from the first round of March Madness kicking off. Got the first four in, whatever, tournament action they got going on tonight, but it's time for Michigan to go make this run. So they got Howard Friday afternoon, I believe.
Yep.
Um, yep, looking forward
Friday.
to.
Yeah. Thursday at 7:10.
Yeah, 7:10. Okay. All right, yeah. I thought I saw Friday. But yeah, no, they got Howard on Thursday. And yeah, just looking forward to seeing them kick this thing off and get it going. So we'll talk about that a little bit. Talk about the Pistons. We're pretty uh we discussed their three-point problems, but didn't post a video last week. Pretty concerned about it, but they were able to kind of bounce back, play a little, shoot a little bit better, win some good games. Cade a little banged up, but they're, in the thick of it. Pretty tough schedule, so we'll chat on that a little bit as well. Tough part of the schedule, talk through that. But yeah, we'll talk about Michigan to kick things off. So yeah, we can discuss. I don't know if we want to talk a little bit of the Big Ten championship game or just kind of roll right into. Probably, let's just roll right into the tourney. I think that's the best way to go about it. That game didn't, whatever. We won the regular season by like 5 games. So
No, they let us have it. They let us have it.
yeah,
According to,
right.
no, but no. Regardless, number one overall or number one seed out the Midwest, I believe. We're playing in Chicago. So you couldn't ask for much more. I know heavy Michigan presence in Chicago, so that's going to be a glorified home game for us.
Yeah,
We tip off there. What I want to look from the team is just have a clean first weekend. Kind of, you never want to look down upon Howard. They obviously are going to come to play. The UMBC team I actually watched play Sunday last week, and they were jacking up threes. So I had a little
look,
tiny hesitation on them because that seems to be a little bit of a Achilles
yeah,
heel for us. That's what I
and they beat
mentioned.
a one seed a couple years ago, I think.
Yes, they did, and they were jacking up. They probably hit 7 threes in the last 8 minutes of that game on Sunday. But they're playing Vermont. So regardless, but Howard snuck one past them and a good one last night. So I just what I want to see from them is a clean first weekend. Limited turnovers. Feed Lindenborg, get McKinney back busy. Just kind of get out without showing too much of your cards, not having to really press the issue, and hopefully don't get your back on the ropes at all, and
Yeah.
just win, survive, and advance. That's kind of what I'm looking for that first Howard, and it's probably going to be like a St. Joe, or I forget who else we could play in that second round. But
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's yeah, it'll be one of these things where it's like can't be looking ahead.
mhm.
You got national championship implications. We said it earlier in the season, Final Four bust. Definitely have seen some of these one seeds get knocked off, these two seeds get knocked off. I mean, I feel like it's happened like at least like once, like two. I mean, I think at least like the last 3 or 4 years, you had at least like a top three seed go down in the first round, if I'm not mistaken. Except for last year, all the ones got to the Final Four, but you definitely,
It's happening
definitely see
more
guys
frequently.
get
We're
knocked.
seeing them 15s go 15 twos, them 14 threes.
Yep,
It's definitely starting to happen more frequently.
yep, yep. So, yeah, you can't play with your food. Got to go in there, think, jump on them. I think at this point, it's like, get some of these games out of the way quick, get them done early so you can rest guys up and, you got it back in action Saturday. So, I mean, I'm already kind of looking ahead, but, that's the goal essentially. So I think as long as, I think Yaxel, hopefully he's good. It's a tough game.
Little ankle. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it was a pretty physical game, so you hope that he's smooth, and I think this is where he really got to start to turn it up a little bit. I think yeah, we had talked. I feel like I was telling somebody, we might have talked about it too, how he just gets a little, he got a little passive and just kind of,
Yeah.
yeah, he doesn't really. I mean, we need the guy that was like doing 30 and 15 to start the season off. Like I think that's kind of what the level, at least Sweet 16 round. It's like that's what you.
No, I agree. I think if I had to put a key on it, it would be he would probably be the number like the key X factor to us winning it all in the Final Four bound would be he's going to have to. The ball's going to have to be in his hands, and he's going to have to
Yeah.
make the right play, whether it's getting to the basket, shooting, finding an open person. At many key points throughout this tournament, if you're going to make a deep run, and I think there's no better. He's a grad transfer. Uh, Big Ten Player of the Year. I think he needed to see that game winner that he had in the Big Ten tournament. I think he said at one of the halftime, I think maybe it was the first game or the second game, he goes, "I've never played this bad in my life." He was coming out, had a couple of the duds, but I think he really needed to see that ball go in and get a game winner. And then obviously we fell flat as a unit versus Purdue, but if he can keep that momentum heading into the first couple of games, like you said, hopefully we're throughout Howard, we're sitting, not having to kind of exert ourselves well into the game, kind of just ease up the minutes for all the key starters on that. And so there's one key point for me is just getting Lindenborg, like you said, increase volume in shots, increase just being what's the word, like just energized, I guess. Just
Yeah.
kind of
Like the
out
head of
there.
the snake, be the head of the snake. You gotta set the tone. And I think another
Morris
key.
Johnson. Morris Johnson is a man child. I think I was actually talking to my dad about this the other day. I think pure NBA talent, he might be the best guy on the team.
Like upside, yeah.
And if looked up 5 years from now, he was a version of Duran, would I be overly shocked? I wouldn't. It would be. I think could be in that ilk. So I think he has to continue to get big. I think he's another guy that in spurts he's amazing, but it's also like there's a lot of guys. I think nobody wants to be the dominant alpha, and we need somebody to just straight take over. And
Yeah.
maybe the team ball can suffer by 5%.
No, for sure. And I think, yeah. No, I think this is where it's like you gotta just go get it. I
Mm-hmm.
think I think Mara staying out of foul trouble is big. Cadeau has not been playing well, to be
Nope,
honest.
I
So
don't.
it's like, you're some of these guys they gotta wake up, and I think McKinney will be a big factor as well. Like he's gonna be playing some like
Big
big
time
time
minutes.
minutes. Roddy Gale, like you got, I obviously consider name the whole team, but you just got some key guys that need to, be on their A game. I mean, that B plus game will get it done tomorrow. But yeah, you just need to kind of like work that get back rolling here. So
Mm-hmm.
tough season. You 17-1, 3 straight games, 3 days.
Yeah, I think you just keep playing fast,
Yeah.
uh, keep focusing on cleaning up, and I guess I know very little about Howard basketball, so I don't know how much we're going to get tested on this front in particular. But I think we seem to have an issue with, I guess, sprinting out and defending the 3-point shot, for lack of a better term, or like and Wisconsin was lighting us up. Purdue got hot and went on a crazy
Yeah.
streak. I think so, and I don't know if it's just due to our size that we're playing with 3 dudes, 6'9", 6'10", 7 foot. And it's just, they're all kind of just not as nimble as they possibly could be, or if it's just kind of structurally how we play defense. And if you're going to jack up threes, it just happens. But that's
Yeah.
one of the things where it's kind of that I do fear for the team is those crazy droughts that we have on scoring and our ability to defend a 3-point shot in particular.
Yeah. Offense be looking clunky.
Yeah.
I don't know. I felt like at one point Casey was probably like one of the better 3-point shooters. Even
Yeah.
like Nehemiah or Barnett. Yeah. I feel like he's kind of been
Mm-hmm.
a little inconsistent as well. So yeah, just gotta hope the guys are able, like you said, you just need, B plus game tomorrow, take care of business, and
And you
you
got
know,
to, and to your point, we need better guard play. Cadeau's going to have to step up. I truly think you win the tournament with guard play.
yeah,
And as good as we are across the board, I think it's going to come. Even if you could have a big guy mimic a point forward ish player, he's going to have that ball in his hand and operate as a point guard at some point in time. So I think Cadeau's going to have to step up, and we seen what he was doing earlier in the season compared to some of these clankers he was having. Um, so for him, I really think it's just a matter of just watching that ball get in a couple of times and getting some consistency back.
Yeah.
Because I would say pretty much since that Duke game, I feel like he's been kind of choppy,
Yeah.
including Duke game. He's been,
It's
yeah.
like they kind of like talking shit, but they like broke him. I don't know. But yeah, no, I think that's if there's any way to look at it, like they leaving a lot on the table, like a lot of meat on the bone. Like they, play a little sluggish here this past week, so hopefully this little bit of rest, hopefully they get some good rest and his last few days much as they can, and like I said, yeah, handle business. But yeah, I think we can shift gears to our Detroit Pistons. They had a rough little go, lost, went on a little losing streak, but were able to play some solid basketball. I think this past week. Um, wasn't great seeing Cade go down, but hopefully it's just a couple games. But yeah, we're able to beat the Wizards, lost to the Raptors, um, and yeah, really was able to try to pull the schedule up here and take a little.
No.
See where we at. Yeah, yeah. Beat the Wizards, got them again tomorrow. Lost to the Raptors, beat Memphis, beat Philly. So yeah, nice little win streak. Went 4-1 last 5 games. We'll call it that. I'm talking in circles. I'll kick it to you. Just want to see what your thoughts are as far as what we saw these last few games.
No, I guess I'm glad to see them correct the ship. For a team that's been so
Yeah.
hot so year, um, seeing 4 wins stack up in a row, or sorry, 4 losses stack up in a row was just kind of alarming. So I'm glad to see them kind of correct the ship, and as a unit, kind of get out of the extreme slump we were in 3-point shooting. There was a couple of those games where we were like 4-28, 6-33. Just like abysmal 3-point shooting, and we're not that we are the 2016 Golden State Warriors by no means at all, but even a healthy, 10-28, 9-24. I think those are some of the more recent ones. Those are things that we can build upon. Things that the team is definitely capable of doing if you're playing and winning at a high level. If you're playing defense at the level at the clip we can play. If you are attacking the basket at the clip we can, hitting
Mm-hmm.
10, 11 jump 3-point shots. I feel great about it. We just can't let the fucking bottom fall out in be in very low single digits. So I think all that being said, Cade is holding his very own as far as 3-point shooting. He's been knocking him down. And I guess I just want to give a shout out in particular. I'm kind of bouncing all over the place, but to Duran last night, who had an amazing game. His career high, I think it's 36, I want to say 38, 36, and like
Yep.
12 maybe. So he went
Yep.
off. Yeah, so great to see. And every time he does that, he getting closer and closer to demanding some sort of max. Again,
Oh yeah, you'll get him a good little check. Yeah, and I think it's just good to see them just riding away for the season. That's probably the longest losing streak they've had all year. Um, you know, Still sitting atop the East. Um, I think yeah, it was good to see the 3-point shooting improve. So it's almost as if they somehow were able to listen to the podcast we didn't post last week. They literally turned around like that quick. So yeah, it's good to see them just like I said. I mean, we sit on there, you know, 10. Can you get 10 threes? I think that team with this elite of defense, it's the depth we have. You see a lot of. I mean, they got a lot of guys like Ron Hollins playing great off the bench. Green, Jenkins kind of snapped out his little slump. Um, Head probably still in the clouds a little bit from the contract that was well deserved. Uh, but yeah, I mean, I think they've been able to bounce back here last week or so, and I think riding the wave of the schedule, the tough schedule, and got some good matchups. National television. Definitely looking forward to tuning into the next few days here. Except for the war.
no,
Got the Warriors. They do got the Lakers on Monday. We tuned into
No,
that.
for sure, for sure. No, I think you. I think what we're all kind of talking around essentially is just believe in the averages. Believe that um, Jenkins is going to get back to that average that he was hitting at earlier in the year. That kid is going to get
Yep.
back closer to what he has been for his career at the first half of this season. That Herter is going to get closer to that 37% career. And I mean, even if he improves any, I mean, I just looked the other day, he was 9 of 45 from three since he got here. So,
Wow. Yeah.
uh, even if he's shooting at a bad 33%, 32% even, that's going to, way better than the like
He's
22% he's shooting now. So, yeah.
stretch the floor. Like it's just, I
Yep.
just need like them to like respect the shot, like or respect, that it can be made. Play the
Yeah.
percentages, like you said. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, just I think that's as a unit, just keep trusting in that, and it will work out. Um, this is kind of a curveball, something we didn't talk about, but we kind of talked around it. So Cade got hurt. I imagine we're obviously. Well, I looked at it this way. Cade got hurt. He's played 61 games this year. You need 65 to be eligible for anything. So that's only 4 more games, and we have 14 games to go. So how do you think he finishes out the year on that? Miss a couple
Yeah.
games and strong, or kind of even last year heading into the playoffs, they sat him in the last 3 or 4 games, even so.
Yeah, after you hit that threshold. Yeah, I mean, I think it's you probably are looking just at like what's that magic number to get that lock up that one seed? Can you lock it up by like I don't know, April 6th, and you just have Milwaukee, Charlotte, and Indiana. You can kind of, maybe sit them out 2 out of those 3 games, something like that, as long as as soon as it's threshold. You
Yeah,
got some I think you got some games on here with like, you don't want to, yeah. I mean, I think it's kind of depend how they can kind of finish things off. But they do got a decent amount of games versus the West, which obviously when it comes down like tiebreakers could make a difference in some cases, but
yeah.
probably could get a little
We
creative with,
front
with
loaded.
some.
We were whooping the East's ass all year, so we were front loaded on wins.
Right.
Um, what are we? We're up. I just look. We're up 3 games. So I guess this leads me right to my next question. We're up 3.5 games over the Celtics, 5 over the Knicks. Uh, Celtics completely different animal with Tatum back in the lineup. I cannot believe personally he's back. So like I guess ramifications of JT coming back, of kind of what that means in the East. Assuming also that this is probably the worst version of him we will see, because he's just got back in here. So he's going to get his legs back right these next 10, 14 games here. And then,
Yeah.
so, you know, what, how does that affect how you see things working out and playing out? And unfortunately, I would say we don't get a chance to play them one last time in the regular season. I would like to see just a
What it
version of what
looks
they look
like.
like. But yeah, but
Yeah. I think I mean, I don't know. I ain't gonna say he's not a threat, but I think it's kind of just like you know, like he probably gonna pick up steam like mid, like second round, you know what I'm saying? Where it's just like, man, it's gonna be a tough second round matchup, either them or the Knicks. And I think,
yeah,
I mean,
I mean,
obviously,
I'll put it
us.
this way: he's this year he's averaged in 5 games 20 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists.
Hmm,
That ain't bad.
oh boy,
Coming off your
yeah, they
leg on
got
a test.
yeah, and he's getting like lathered up, just like just getting going, like he about it's good timing, about a month out from the playoffs. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think it would have been nice to just kind of see what they look like with them. I mean, they're dangerous. I mean, I think I've always said we match up with the Knicks very well. Like, I think that's somebody that like I think if we got them in the second round, I think we could go get them. I think it's just like in their head at this point now. But yeah, obviously the goal is to get past that first round and do what you can to hold on to that one seed, obviously. Um, because I am seeing that Milwaukee is starting to kind of fade further and further out of that 10 spot. So that makes me feel a little bit better
Yeah,
as
yeah,
far
yeah.
as like
The
what
buffer
that
in there
matchup would look like.
for sure.
Because that's just, yeah, I mean, wouldn't mind taking on really any of those teams in that spot right now. Miami, Atlanta, Philly, or Charlotte.
You
I don't
telling me you're
know.
not scared of Mr. Knipple and Mr. Ball? You know?
No, they don't really.
No, no, we can't. We play them in there after that last scuffle. That'd be a good little series.
It would be, yeah. So hopefully they find a way to snag that eighth spot.
Yeah, no,
Atlanta's solid.
I agree with you. It just is kind of crazy how obviously we got out the gate so fast. That cushion has been ate up a little bit. I remember at one point we was up to like 6, 7 game,
Yeah,
lead, and just the Boston Celtics to not only keep that shit together and be a playoff team, to keep it in the hunt and then have him come back is bizarre. Um,
yeah.
yeah, and I'm saying this
I thought
truly. I
they're gonna be
really do
horrible.
hope it works out for them because that shit just scares me when players rush back from shit like that. But
But
uh,
you gotta give their front office credit. They like traded for Anthony Simons. Basically, he just was kind of hanging out, like, playing. Traded with the trade deadline for Vucevic, and then Tatum just comes back in like they just kind of like a nice little placeholder, just kind of keep them. And they like overachieved
yes,
like ridiculously.
yeah, no. So
Um,
I think
Funny randomly, Atlanta's won like 10 in a row, and they're like only the eighth seed. Like it's like kind of like that's kind of crazy. Like I mean, they pop it like you like playing really well, and it's just
flying up the charts.
doing the play
No,
in.
no. And I agree with you on that. I think I very similar thoughts before. I think still the goal should be to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, but I think short term goal to help achieve the long term goal of the Eastern Conference Finals would be to shore up that number one seed. I think that's
Yeah,
a good building block and where the team is. That's a good inner personal goal throughout the year that we can have for the next 14 games. Just like, hey, let's lock in, make sure we get the number one seed, home court advantage throughout, no matter what happens. Kind of keep the fire lit under the younger players. And it's kind of so we can readjust and return it on as we, kind of sit back and head into these playoffs. So, um, I guess I would say Celtics scare me a little bit with Tatum back, assuming he's at full strength. Knicks still is not all that scary to me, and I have to admit the Cavaliers are a little more formidable than I would have thought they would be. But it is still early. There's still plenty of time
yeah.
for crash and
Honeymoon
burn.
Harden to show his face. So
Yeah.
Honeymoon Harden, he's still,
Hey, it's just a little extended honeymoon. It's they got to come back home eventually. You got to
yeah.
come back.
No, definitely.
Eventually, it's going to be
Definitely.
May, and he's going to realize he's in Cleveland and not Miami or
Yeah,
L.A. or yeah,
that pivotal game 6 stinker
yeah,
is looming.
yeah. James Harden, seeing that Legends. Look
Yeah,
forward
right.
to it. Look forward to it.
Yeah, as soon as he finds that 2-story strip club in Cleveland, it's over with.
Yeah, no facts. But no, I'm looking forward to tournament games tomorrow. Looking forward to kind of Pistons next week here with some bigger games. Hopefully, Cade doesn't miss too many games, and we'll be right back at you next week.
Peace.